Alright, I'm going to make the last part on how I met a dimensional being. The first part was the story about how I got electrocuted when I was 12. Remember, big number. And how it led me to meeting this thing. And the reason I say thing is because it didn't have a gender. So I'm not sure what its pronoun is. But I thought I was going nuts. Tell you the truth, that's how it started. Of course, you talk to yourself in your head, at least I do. But one day it started telling me things that I didn't have no knowledge of. I think it was 2021. But anyways, it was saying that over 900,000 children were taken that year, and I guess it knew how I feel about my children, and the length I would go through to protect them. And it was telling me about how they're taking the adrenochrome and ciphering people's God energy, their soul essence from this adrenochrome, in which I'd heard of once or twice, like on the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's the only time I'd ever even heard of it. Never gave it a second thought. So I was like, I'm going nuts. I'm going crazy. I thought I'd lost my mind. And it kept speaking to me. Anyways, so I made it a deal that I would give it my soul. And it also was explaining the soul trap. And within a couple days, we had come to an agreement over my soul, that I would give my soul. And my two stipulations were that everybody would know the truth, and everybody would be free from the soul trap. That was my trade. Now, the first night that I actually physically seen something was January 5th, 2001, I think. And it was still talking to me. This is about the third day. And it told me if it was scared, it would not show itself. And I don't know if it was a test run or what, but I was living in my camper. I had been for 2 or 3 years. Just felt worthless. And anyways, that's part of the story. I heard something right over the camper, like woo, 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 woo. And I just knew. Somehow I just knew. And I told myself to be brave, have courage. And I've got a recording of it somewhere, a security camera, and you can hear it on there, to me telling myself to have courage. Well, I opened the door and I seen this spaceship, whatever you want to call it, and of course I got scared. And I ran. You can hear in the security camera me running through this camper to go get my phone to take pictures. And as soon as I got back and tried to take a picture, it shot off. Well, the very next night or day, it was still talking to me, had me running all over my little town here, looking for portals and this and that. And then that night, about 1:30, maybe it was around midnight, I went into my camper. It happened so fast. I went into my camper. It told me to lay down. So I did. I wasn't in my camper 10 seconds. And it explained to me free will, how it couldn't go past my free will, because I was scared it was going to hold me down. And see, with telepathy, these things, before you could ask the question, it already answered. It could read your mind. So I was scared it was going to hold me down, so it went through the whole free will thing. And see, this was all in preparation for the trade, my soul for the truth and to be set free, because my sister had died maybe 6, 7 months prior. And that's all I could think about was, my sister being caught in a soul trap. So I was nervous, I was nervous, but it was different. It was like the real me came out. And I wasn't scared of anything. I had courage like a lion. Anyways, I had to sit there, and it would go through a breathing technique with me. Well, at first, let me get to this. It explained to me why it couldn't come here, because it did not want to get trapped in the density. So I had to meditate and get to the astral realm to meet it halfway. As the Creator is my witness, so help me, I'm telling you the truth. And government, fuck you. You ain't getting shit from me. I will die. You'll have to kill me or I'll kill myself before you'll get shit out of me. You could have fucking done something about this a long time ago. You should have told everybody. Anyways, back to me. It explained to me about how they were in contract with our government, and our government had breached, and they wasn't going to our leaders no more. But it gave me these visions. We would go through a breathing technique, one for the east, and then let it just a certain time. The timing and all of it was very important. By the time I got to the north, I was all the way over into the astro. I could see out my eyes, my soul's eyes, and a 360 view around me. And the further I would get away from my body, the more clearer that thing would become. It looked like a hologram. I kept trying to touch its head the whole time and just go right through it. And there was one on my right side that was more like the doctor. Had a bit like E.T., big long head, flat on top. And it told me that this is the greatest event that's ever happened, that they were all here. And then all of a sudden, I looked up and their eyes everywhere. They blend in. They're right in front of your face. Look at the spaces between spaces. Look at the space in between space. They're here. They always have been. And you know what? You call me whatever you want, crazy, whatever. We'll see who's crazy. We'll see. See, at one time, I was an Elohim. Michael. Mika Elohim. Mika, E-L, Ohim. The E-L at the end of Michael was the last name hyphen. So, argue that all you want, guys. Anyways, so we tried, and we tried, and we tried, and every time I'm holding my breath the whole time through all this. See, I had to come to a near-death experience to meet it halfway. And I would hold my breath probably 5 minutes at a time, and I would just get a flash of my kids in my head, and I would take a breath and come out of it, and we'd have to go through the breathing ritual again to get me there. And we've tried it, what seemed like for hours. It seemed like they was able to take this moment in time and freeze it and expand it. That's the only way. See, this is the hardest thing about this journey, is trying to find the words to describe it, to get through fucking knuckleheads. It's right in front of your face, guys. I am Mika. As crazy as it is, it's the real deal. Love you guys.